My friends, strength is not found in muscles. It is found in the mind. It is built through discipline, clarity, and the courage to face life as it is. Mentally strong people are not born that way. They train themselves. They rise above impulses, choose wisdom over reaction, and stand calm even when the world shakes. Today, let us reflect on 6 things mentally strong people never do. 1. They never waste energy on what they cannot control. Life brings storms, and no one can stop the wind. But you can control your breath, your choices, your response. Mentally strong people do not complain about what is outside their hands. They save their strength for what they can shape: their actions, their effort, their character. 2. They never let temporary feelings control their decisions. Emotions come and go like waves. If you act only when you feel like it, your life will drift in every direction. Mentally strong people feel their emotions, but they do not obey them. They choose what is right, not what is easy. They never compare their life to others'. Comparison steals peace. Everyone walks a different path, with different challenges and different timing. Mentally strong people measure progress against who they were yesterday, not against someone else's journey. Their only competition is with their own past self. 4. They never run away from discomfort. Growth lives on the other side of difficulty. Mentally strong people don't fear hard things, they use them. They understand that pain can teach, discipline can sharpen, and discomfort can build a stronger mind. 5. They never hold on to grudges. Carrying anger is like carrying fire in your hands. It burns you more than anyone else. Mentally strong people choose forgiveness, not because others deserve it, but because peace is worth more than resentment. 6. They never quit on themselves. Life will test you. There will be days when progress is slow, when setbacks break your rhythm, when doubt whispers in your ear. But mentally strong people keep going. They rise again. They try again. They believe that every step, no matter how small, shapes their future. My friends, mental strength is a practice, a daily choice, a way of living with purpose, calmness, and self-respect. Walk this path with awareness, and you will discover a mind no challenge can shake. Strength begins when you stop fighting what you can't control. Most people spend their days struggling against life, pushing against things that were never in their hands. They argue with reality, hoping it will change just because they dislike it. But mentally strong people understand a deeper truth. Peace does not come from controlling everything around you. Peace comes from controlling yourself. The world moves with its own rhythm. People will act how they choose. Circumstances will shift without warning. Weather changes, time moves, and life unfolds in ways no one can predict. To fight these things is to drain your own energy. It is like trying to stop the ocean with your bare hands. You become tired, frustrated, and confused, not because life is unfair, but because you placed your strength where it cannot work. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, a new kind of power grows inside you. You begin to see that your real strength lies in your thoughts, your actions, your choices. You can choose patience even when events are not in your favor. You can choose clarity when emotions rise. You can choose effort when the results are uncertain. This is the foundation of mental strength, directing your energy wisely. Many people carry mental storms inside them. They replay old moments they cannot change. They fear future outcomes they cannot predict. They argue with situations that have already happened. They let their mind become a battlefield of why, what if, and it shouldn't be this way. But mentally strong people step out of this mental trap. They accept that the past is fixed, the future is unknown, and only the present moment is theirs to guide. Acceptance is not weakness. It is not giving up. It is not allowing life to walk over you. Acceptance simply means recognizing reality as it is, so you can respond with wisdom instead of frustration. When you accept what you cannot control, your mind becomes lighter. You can breathe again. You can think clearly. You can see options that were hidden behind your anger or fear. You stop drowning in your problems and begin walking toward solutions. This shift in perspective changes everything. Instead of complaining about the obstacle, you study it. Instead of blaming others for your feelings, you take responsibility for your reactions. Instead of waiting for the world to calm down, you learn how to stay calm within yourself. Strength grows quietly in these moments. It grows every time you choose patience instead of panic. It grows every time you respond with purpose instead of impulse. It grows every time you release something you were never meant to hold. Imagine how much energy you have wasted in life by resisting things that were simply outside your reach. Imagine what you could build if that energy was directed towards something within your control. Your habits, your discipline, your relationships, your mindset. Mentally strong people put their power where it matters. They focus on the conversation they can have, not the one someone refuses to have. They focus on their effort, not someone else's opinion. They focus on their next step, not the entire mountain. By doing this, they remain steady when others break. They remain centered when chaos rises. They remain confident even when the outcome is uncertain. They look at life with clear eyes and say, "This is what I can do. This is what I cannot. And I will give my full strength to what is mine." Feelings are waves. Don't let them steer your life. Emotions rise and fall like the tide, sometimes calm, sometimes wild, sometimes gentle, and sometimes powerful enough to shake your whole world. But just as waves do not control the ocean, your feelings do not have to control your actions. Mentally strong people understand that emotions are natural, but they are not commands. They are signals, not instructions. They show you what is happening inside you, but they do not decide what you must do next. Many people allow their entire life to be pulled around by their emotions. If they feel angry, they act with anger. If they feel sad, they stop moving. If they feel fear, they run from challenges. If they feel discomfort, they quit. Their life becomes a boat with no anchor, drifting wherever the emotional winds blow. But strength begins the moment you stop letting emotions lead your decisions. It begins when you notice the feeling without becoming the feeling. When you can say, "I am experiencing fear," instead of, "I am fear." When you can say, "I feel anger," instead of, "I must react with anger." This small shift gives you space. In that space, wisdom grows. Emotions are temporary, but the choices you make because of them can shape your entire future. You may feel hurt for a moment, but a decision made in pain can cause years of regret. You may feel afraid for an hour, but running from fear can create a lifetime of limitations. You may feel frustrated today, but reacting impulsively can damage relationships that matter deeply. Mentally strong people pause. They let the wave rise. They let it peak. They let it fall. They breathe through it. They observe it. They do not fight it or deny it. They simply refuse to let it drive their life. This is not coldness. It is discipline. It is the ability to remain steady in a world full of emotional noise. It is understanding that your feelings are valid, but not always accurate. Sometimes fear is a warning. Sometimes fear is a lie. Sometimes anger shows injustice. Sometimes anger simply shows impatience. Sometimes sadness reveals loss. Sometimes sadness is only the mind replaying old stories. Strength is knowing the difference. To do this, you must learn to sit with your emotions without trying to escape them. Most people distract themselves the moment a difficult feeling appears. They run to comfort, entertainment, noise, or anything that keeps them from facing the wave. But the wave does not disappear. It only returns stronger. Mentally strong people face the emotion directly. They let it move through them without letting it move their actions. They understand that emotions are temporary travelers. They come and they go, but they do not stay unless you hold them. And every time you watch an emotion rise and fall without reacting, you train your mind. You build a quiet confidence that says, I am stronger than this feeling. You develop clarity because your decisions come from your values, not from your moods. You develop stability because you are no longer shaken by every shift inside you. You develop freedom because you are no longer a prisoner of temporary emotions. This is how mentally strong people maintain control even in moments of internal storms. They do not deny their humanity. They simply choose their response with intention. They stand like a lighthouse in rough water still, grounded, clear while the waves crash and fall around them. They know the wave is not the ocean, and a feeling is not their entire life. They allow emotions to speak, but they do not hand them the steering wheel. Comparison is a thief. Protect your peace. The moment you start measuring your life against someone else's, you begin to lose sight of your own path. Comparison is subtle. It slips into the mind quietly. You look at what others have, what they achieved, how fast they moved, how far they went, and suddenly your own progress feels small. But mentally strong people understand that comparison steals joy, confidence, clarity, and direction. It shifts your focus from your own growth to someone else's journey, and nothing weakens the mind faster than giving attention to things that do not belong to you. Everyone walks through life with different circumstances, different beginnings, different struggles, and different timing. Two seeds planted on the same day can grow at different speeds. One might bloom early, the other later, but both still bloom. When you compare yourself, you assume that life is a race where everyone starts from the same position. But this is never true. You do not know the silent battles others fight. You do not know the sacrifices they made or the advantages they received. And even if you did know, their path still has nothing to do with yours. The more time you spend looking at others, the less time you spend improving yourself. Mentally strong people protect their inner space from this noise. They understand that comparison brings insecurity, jealousy, impatience, and self-doubt. It creates a false belief that you are behind, even when you are exactly where you need to be. It blinds you from noticing your own progress because you are too busy watching someone else's results. Progress does not need to be loud. It does not need to be public. It only needs to be real. And real progress happens when your focus is on your steps, not on someone else's destination. There is a quiet power that comes from staying in your own lane. When you stop comparing, your mind becomes lighter. You begin to see what you truly want, not what others have convinced you to desire. You start setting goals based on your values, not based on what seems impressive. You measure your life with honesty instead of competition. You grow because you are focused on growth, not because you are trying to prove anything to anyone. Comparison also destroys gratitude. When you constantly look at what others have, you forget what is already in your hands. You forget the challenges you overcame, the lessons you learned, the strength you built. Gratitude opens the heart, but comparison closes it. Gratitude strengthens identity, but comparison weakens it. Mentally strong people choose gratitude because it brings clarity. It reminds them that their journey may be different, but it is meaningful. To protect your peace, you must redirect your attention. Every time you catch yourself comparing, bring your focus back to your own life. Ask yourself how far you have come, not how far someone else has gone. Think about who you were a year ago, 5 years ago, not about who others are today. When you see someone winning, let it inspire you instead of discouraging you. Their success does not take anything away from you. There is enough space in the world for everyone to grow in their own way. Mentally strong people celebrate others without losing themselves. They cheer for progress without feeling threatened. They admire without envying. They learn without copying. They understand that the only meaningful comparison is between who they are now and who they used to be. When you live this way, your mind becomes focused, calm, and free. Your journey becomes clearer. Your growth becomes steadier. You reclaim the energy that comparison once stole, and you invest it into becoming the best version of yourself. Discomfort is training. Step into it, not away from it. Most people spend their lives avoiding anything that feels difficult, unfamiliar, or uncomfortable. They look for the easier path, the softer choice, the option that demands the least from them. But mentally strong people understand something powerful. Discomfort is not the enemy. Discomfort is a teacher. It is the weight that strengthens the mind, the fire that shapes character, the pressure that brings hidden abilities to the surface. Nothing great is built without discomfort. Nothing meaningful grows without friction. When you avoid discomfort, you remain exactly where you are. You stay inside the same habits, the same fears, the same limits. Avoidance feels safe, but it keeps your life small. It convinces you that comfort equals happiness, when in reality, comfort often leads to stagnation. Mentally strong people know that the path of growth is not soft or smooth. It is often challenging, uncertain, and demanding. But within that struggle lies transformation. Every time you step toward discomfort, instead of running away from it, you expand your abilities, you expand your courage, you expand your understanding of yourself. Discomfort shows you where your fears live. It reveals what you have been avoiding. It exposes the areas in your life that need attention. This is why mentally strong people do not treat discomfort as a warning to escape. They treat it as a sign that something important is happening. They know that the things they fear may contain the lessons they need. They know that the tasks they avoid are usually the ones that will move them forward. They know that the challenges they face are shaping them into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. Think about any skill you admire: discipline, patience, confidence, resilience. All of them are earned through discomfort. Discipline is built by doing what is necessary when you don't feel like it. Patience is built by enduring moments of waiting without losing your calm. Confidence is built by facing situations that once intimidated you. Resilience is built by rising after setbacks that once broke you. None of this growth happens inside comfort. It happens in the uncomfortable moments you choose to face. There is a simple truth. Comfort protects your present, but discomfort builds your future. Comfort keeps things easy in the moment, but discomfort gives you strength for the long run. Mentally strong people understand this trade. They choose long-term strength over short-term ease. They know that every time they push through discomfort, they gain something that lasts. They gain discipline, they gain self-control, they gain trust in themselves. These gains do not fade like comfort does. They become part of who you are. Most people wait for motivation before they take action. But motivation is unreliable. It rises and falls, just like emotions do. Mentally strong people act even without motivation. They move even when it feels uncomfortable. They know that taking the first step often creates the motivation they were waiting for. And once they take that step, the discomfort begins to lose its power. What once felt impossible becomes manageable. What once felt intimidating becomes familiar. This is how discomfort transforms into growth. When you face discomfort, you discover that you are capable of more than you believed. You realize that you can endure more than you thought. You learn that fear loses its strength when you stop running from it. And with each challenge you step into, your confidence grows. You begin to trust yourself because you have proof that you can handle difficult things. This trust becomes a foundation for your life. Mentally strong people train their mind the same way a warrior trains the body, by stepping into stress purposefully. Not recklessly, not destructively, but with intention. They understand that discomfort sharpens the mind just as resistance strengthens muscles. They welcome the struggle that brings growth. They walk toward the hard things because they know the easy things never shaped anyone into greatness. Grudges are heavy. Mentally strong people never hold on to them. Carrying resentment is like carrying a burning coal in your hands and expecting someone else to feel the pain. The truth is simple. The person who hurt you may move on, may forget, may live freely, but the one who holds the grudge continues to suffer. A grudge does not protect you. It only traps you. It keeps you tied to moments that should already belong to the past. It takes away your peace, your focus, and your ability to move forward with a clear mind. When someone wrongs you, the pain is real. It leaves a mark, and that mark can stay for a long time if you let it. But mentally strong people understand that healing does not come from clinging to what happened. Healing comes from releasing the grip it has on your mind. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It does not mean the action was acceptable. It does not mean the person deserves another chance. Forgiveness simply means you refuse to let the past control your present. It means you choose freedom over bitterness, peace over anger, and clarity over emotional heaviness. A grudge is like replaying the same painful scene over and over in your head. Every replay deepens the wound instead of allowing it to close. Many people think holding a grudge gives them power, but in reality, it gives power to the one who caused the hurt. It keeps them alive in your thoughts, long after they have left your life. Mentally strong people take back their power by letting go. They refuse to give someone else control over their mental space. They know their mind is too valuable to be occupied by old pain. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It is a decision. If you wait to feel like forgiving, you may wait forever. The mind naturally resists letting go of hurt because it thinks holding on will protect you. But this protection is an illusion. The grudge becomes a shield that stops you from connecting, trusting, and growing. It closes your heart and narrows your vision. When you forgive, you put down that shield. You lighten your load. You open space for better things to enter your life. Mentally strong people understand that forgiveness does not always involve the other person. You don't need to speak to them. You don't need to reconcile. You don't need their apology. The work happens inside you.